I guess we can just
Okay.
get the show started.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to bring up first?
I don't have any lyrics.
Still no lyrics?
Still no lyrics. It has
Oh
to be on
no, it's time
I
for
haven't
number
even
two
played
podcast
focus.
with no lyrics, cause my cousin did not write anything that she said she was gonna do, but that's okay cause we screw up all the time and we're just doing our best in this life to get by on the number two podcast.
No
The
lyrics.
number two podcast.
No lyrics.
It's
No
okay to mess up, cause you're just talking to family. I'm your cousin, you're my cousin. Your brother is family, your mother is family, your cousins are family, your kids are kind of family.
They are. There's the same blood.
Oh, really? How lovely.
Yes. Same blood.
Yeah, all right. Well, hey, look, cuz I guess we're officially started since you didn't write any lyrics. And I'm pretty sure the last time we spoke, you said you were going to write lyrics. And
I did, and I felt really committed
committed to what?
to writing the lyrics.
Well, good job, cuz. You even had an extra week.
I know, but things just happen, and let me just say this: I had to take pain medication this past week.
For what?
Just stuff.
Oh. For
but
Hemrodio.
yeah,
And did we ever decide what to name the second one?
No.
Oh, Hemrodio and
someone
Pila.
suggested pita.
Pita? No, pita's a food. I don't want to think about food hanging out of your butt that's causing you pain.
Well, pita like pain in the ass.
Oh, I got you.
Oh, goodness. Somebody asked me at work how I was doing, and I was like, and it was a guy. I was like, by that, I get frustrated. Like, it irritates me. I don't know why. I guess the pain or it's uncomfortable.
I would imagine.
And he was like, so how you doing? I'm like, you know what? I literally have a pain in my ass.
3 of them.
But we're not going to start off with the...
Yeah, I mean, we got a pretty detailed update last time.
Yeah. So, anyway, I'll update you next week after I have my doctor's appointment.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So,
let me know.
It's Monday. So, I'll find out if I have to go under the knife.
All right. So, aside from hemorrhoids, how's everything else going? What's been going on? Anything interesting happened to you in the past few weeks?
Things have been okay. I think the issue with, what Marcella is facing is kind of like really starting to sink in with everybody.
Yeah, I haven't really talked about this publicly, so if you want to fill in everybody who might be listening, please do.
Well, Marcella is both my mom and your mom's sister. She's our aunt.
She's our aunt, yeah.
And yes, our aunt. And she, in February, started having like some, like a pain in her shoulder and, lack of the, I don't want to say medical doctor that she's been seeing, his lack of practice maybe. He kind of overlooked a mass from an x-ray that was on her right upper lung. It turned out to be a cancerous tumor or mass that attached itself to her upper right shoulder blade. And basically the cancer's been eating away. So she's been in constant, I can't even imagine the pain since February. And so in the beginning, she seemed, when I visited with her, she seemed, still in pain, but she seemed in good spirits, despite the circumstances. And basically, she was kind of told, that it wasn't good. And they really didn't know what they were looking at until they did further testing, which the insurance, I think, is just I don't know, it's just horrible. It sounds like it's a cruel system.
It's a joke.
It's a joke where people basically pay, and when they really need it,
Well, I can't say
they
that
have to
about
go
all
through.
insurance, but whatever insurance she has, from what mom tells me, she wasn't even able to go visit a hospital in our hometown. She had to go to like the town over to get medical
Right,
treatment, which is
right. And
ridiculous to me.
every single specialist, which when you're dealing with cancer, from what I know and people that I've talked to that have had it or have experienced, it with family members, it's not just one doctor. It's several different specialists that you have to be seen, and every single one of them require a referral. And it's not like, okay, you send this referral over to the insurance and they send it back and say, okay, we're working on it. Go ahead, start your procedure or your whatever you need to do. Hers has taken like weeks. So the only thing that she's been able to do is medicate herself with pain medication. And yesterday, she went for her MRI and PET scan. And I just thought, Julie, her middle child, has taken on a lot of responsibility by helping. And I think making things happen with these doctors, not just waiting to say, oh, well, we're waiting on the doctor. No, Julie gets up and no, we need something done today. We need something done now.
Yeah, mom told me that it was basically Julie who took her to the doctor and forced them to look her over
Yes.
correctly, and that's how they were able to find the tumor.
Right, because the doctor that she was going to, her primary care physician was like, I told you there's no sense of spending all this money on doing all these tests when all it's going to come back is that you need to have surgery and you're not you're not going to comply with what's required. And there's no point of doing all this stuff if you're not going to comply with what the recommendation is. And Julie was like, no, that's your mistake. You need to do whatever you need to do to get her out of pain. And when he finally looked at the paper, the results, and did the MRI, he was like, it's not good. And basically said, when things like this happen, and these technicians sending these reports, I guess they're called technicians that do these ultrasounds and MRIs and x-rays, that they're like, make the doctors look like they weren't doing their job, because they note in there, highly recommended, no further review or testing found mass on this. And Julie was like, yeah, you got caught with your pants down.
Yeah.
You didn't do what you're supposed to do. So it's kind of, I don't want to sound selfish, but it's like you can't imagine what they're going through because it's their mom. It's, our aunt, but it's your mom and my mom's sister.
Right.
And you want to help and do things, but it's like, the only thing really that I know that I feel like is the most powerful thing to do is just be supportive, check in on them, visit, and just, the most powerful thing I think is just is prayer, because it's basically like we're watching her deteriorate. And I know yesterday was a really hard day for Julie. Not to add on that, she recently found out she's pregnant.
Right. It's a time when she has good news and bad news.
Yeah. And it's just a lot of not knowing, a lot of waiting, having to give up some control because you really have absolutely no control of anything. And I know what really kind of hit hard for all of us, or really them and my mom too, is Thursday, I believe it was. Marcella she has a 2-story house, and she has to stay downstairs because it's getting too hard for her to go upstairs. So she got up around 3 to go to the restroom and fell, and basically was on the downstairs restroom floor for about 3 or 4 hours before she was found. And she didn't want to go to the ER with an ambulance, but the ambulance was able to get her up in the chair because you can't grab her on her right side because she's just in pain. So we kind of invited Julie out last night just to kind of help, maybe
just take her mind off
things
for a little
out.
while.
Yeah. And it was nice. I hope she kind of enjoyed it. But we really didn't spend a lot of time together after we went to the casino.
Did y'all win anything?
No.
Damn it, cuz.
Yeah. It wasn't any profit.
That's okay. Did y'all at least have a good time?
Yeah, I think she did. I think and that's why I told her, it's like, if there's anything we can do, even if it's babysitting the kids or, you coming over, it's just so hard to try to, there's not really, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Hey, I'm the worst at this. I am not capable of offering like inspirational words or consoling. I can only listen, and I haven't even done that. I haven't called any of Marcella's kids to check on them. I was able to talk to Marcella one day, just earlier this week, because obviously I wanted to call her and talk to her and check on her, but I figured she was busy, and plus, again, I just don't know what to say in those situations. I just wanted to let her know that I was thinking about her, and obviously that I'm concerned and I care about her, love her.
Yeah.
But and when we talked, I guess she was medicated then, and we didn't get too into what was going on with her because I didn't want to bring it up because I'm sure I know when I get sick, I get tired of telling the same story over and over. So I was just letting her just tell me what she wanted to, and she told me she was in pain and stuff like that, which upset me because I hate to hear that.
Yeah.
And
that's kind of what Julie was saying last night, is that she's basically, accepted the fact that she has cancer, and she understands the possibility of her maybe, losing her life to it, but
and that's the thing I've been avoiding.
She wants us to pain.
That's the thing I've been avoiding even saying. It's like I don't want to think that because I don't want to go directly to the negative side. But my personality, I'm a worrywart. When I heard the diagnosis, the first thing I thought was, "Oh my God, this isn't good." And then, just less than a year ago in September, we lost our oldest aunt, Gloria, and now here we are. What, like 9 months later, we're finding out, like our aunt is diagnosed with stage 4 cancer.
Yeah, and to add on to that, they are basically suspecting that it's not just on the right upper lung attached to the shoulder blade.
Yeah, they think
the chances that it's elsewhere are very high based off of her symptoms and everything else. And yesterday Julie said, she didn't take any of her pain medication, and she was not very coherent. And because, I'm thinking, well, maybe it's still in her system from like the days before, and that's why she's kind of out of it.
But Julie thinks it might be something else.
How do you tell them it's going to be okay when you know, it's not that you want to think negative or you want to be supportive and positive, but we really don't know if it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And you don't want to think that. It's just given the situation. That's why I keep saying, like, the only thing that we can really, really do is just pray that she finds comfort in some type of healing, or, you know, to not be in so much pain, because that's what she wants. She doesn't want to be in pain. She just wants the pain to go away.
Right.
So, and it's kind of this, the selfish part of me is like, you know, what's happening to our family, you know? I felt like before we used to be so big, and the cousins from Houston. I mean, every
Right.
gathering we were all together. And then slowly, you know, our grandparents passed. And I don't know if it's because of our age or my age that I didn't realize that I didn't realize if they suffered. It didn't seem like it. Like, you know, they got sick. You know, Grandpa died. He had a heart attack. He suffered as far as with his amputations and things like that, but still, he was still up, and you could talk to him.
He was still a dirty old man.
Yeah.
Up until the very end.
Yeah. And then he had a heart attack.
Right.
So he was gone. You know what I'm saying? We didn't really see him, like, in pain.
Yeah.
And Grandma had cancer, and she was in pain, but I don't know if it's because of our age, where we weren't really that to witness so much of it, but it seemed like she didn't suffer very long. You know what I don't know.
Well, from the time she was diagnosed to the time she passed away, it was about a span of 3 months. It took her pretty quickly. But in that 3-month time, she did suffer. I mean, there were times when I went to visit her, and she was just moaning in pain. And it was hard. And especially, you know what? I might as well, look, hey, you know, we had a segment in the first show, Family Secrets. Might as well get into some family secrets. Family secrets. You like that?
Don't say anything.
Family secrets. You like that theme song?
I do. I think it's pretty cool.
Well, look, not to make light of anything that we're talking about, but I have to make light of what we're talking about.
Well, of course. There's always some light.
Yeah, because we're about to get pretty dark. During that time when Grandma was sick, that was the time when we were dealing with a lot of stuff with our Uncle Bones, and whatever mess he had gotten into and had pulled Grandma and Grandpa into. It was hard to be around Grandma because he always had to be there, and I don't know what he was going through at the time, but you know, we talked before about how we didn't really feel safe around him, and I don't know what he was, if he was trying to pull something over, but and I would like to think that some of it was motivated out of love, but I can't believe that all of it was. But he just would not leave Grandma's side, even when they were like changing her and stuff like that. It was uncomfortable, and it was really difficult to go visit her because you would have to put up with Bones,
right?
And whatever, or just his girlfriend at the time, who, you know, I won't say her name, but you know, she would be up there sometimes too. And I know Grandma didn't appreciate that, and here she was on her deathbed, and she still had to put up with that nonsense.
Right.
And yeah, I was 21, about to turn 22. In fact, I turned 22 2 days before Grandma passed away, and it was a really difficult time, and seeing her in that pain and having to push through the emotional pain of dealing with Bones and his bullshit that he was bringing to the table really made it difficult. It was a strain on, I think, the whole family. and not to just like, not trying to gang up on just him, but I mean, I don't even know how to describe it. He just,
I I kind of, I mean, I understand what you're saying, and
yeah,
I think then
and I hate to be so
I think,
vague, but I can't be specific about it either because I don't really even know everything that he was. I know that he was causing a lot of problems for the family. I
mm,
know in my heart, I feel like he had some mental problems too that he just never dealt with that were really surfacing. And
mm-hmm.
I'm sure the stress of seeing his mother dying didn't help matters, but it certainly it certainly made his behavior worse around the family, or at least
I think it's
the
anger.
relationships with the family. Yeah, there was a lot of anger,
Yeah,
a lot of finger pointing, a lot of blaming.
yeah, and I think in a situation when now looking back and seeing and deal and I don't want to say dealing with it because I'm not dealing with it, but witnessing and being an outsider, I look back and I even look at what's going on in the family right now, and sometimes everybody deals with their, those challenges or life. I don't want to call them obstacles, but they deal with their situations differently. And I
Right,
think the family secrets, like we talked about before, you know, they, grandma, the aunts and uncles and parents were brought up to believe that you could, pray to a saint upside down, or you could, you know, sprinkle whatever, and that would shoo evil away, or that would heal something. And I feel like that he couldn't let go of not being in control, and he was going to try anything and everything to try to save her. And of course, the siblings, they're probably thinking you're crazy,
yeah,
which I do think he, was mentally challenged. Um, but that's what he knew. And there's things going on right now that, I've heard comments, well, maybe the maybe family members could do more for, to help out with Marcella. But if they don't know and they think they're doing what they can, I'm not going to say you need to do more, or you're wrong for not stepping up to the plate and doing this and doing that. That's what they've been taught. And in their heart, they may not even realize, gosh, I'm not doing what other people think I should be doing to help.
well,
And I think that was with Bones. I think he couldn't, I mean, I really think he got caught up in trying and reaching for anything and everything to save Grandma, because he knew without her, he wasn't gonna, you know what I'm saying? I
yeah.
guess make it, and he
Yeah,
didn't.
I never thought about it like that. That's,
He didn't.
I mean, because
He didn't
for
make it.
years I carried some anger and resentment. Excuse me. For years I carried some anger and resentment towards Bones because of the way he acted towards the end of Grandma's life, and the way that the strife that it caused within our family. And it wasn't until years later that I started to think that maybe he had some mental problems and some
Hmm.
demons that he just never confronted. But I never thought how you just explained it. I never thought about him like that was his resource. That was his only way that he thought that he could help. I never thought about it like that, and it honestly it eases some of the anger that I still have towards him a little bit. And don't get me wrong, I miss him because I remember as a kid I had so much fun with Bones. He was the coolest
Hmm.
guy. He had a cool blazer, always wore sunglasses, and I don't know, he was just a lot of fun to be
He
around.
smoked. He had guitars,
Oh yeah,
drums,
yeah, guitars, drums. I mean,
guns.
yeah, guns. He was just a really cool guy. And somewhere along the line, obviously I changed. I'm not always going to be a person, but I mean, I'm I'm always going to be a person. I'm not always going to be a kid. I'm going to grow up to be an adult, and my views are going to change. My ideas are going to change, and I guess that just didn't line up with the way that he always thought. So we butted heads a couple of times, and we drifted apart, which makes me sad. But there were some things that I just didn't like.
Well, and I have to be honest. I hear, like, even, I mean, I realize that, that recently, as far as that's what, he was taught, that's what he was brought up. And I hear to this day, that a lot of the bad things that happen, or when people see changes in people, that they feel like, it has to do with some type of voodoo or black magic, or
Yeah,
and
somebody's.
I realize that stuff does exist, but
See, I still think of it as a superstition, but I think that people who believe it can like have some sort of psychosomatic reaction that causes things to get worse. Like, and
well,
I'm not completely free of superstition. When a black cat crosses my path, I still do the sign of the cross, even though I know logically it's just a cat. But
yeah,
still, just from years of having that associated with it. Plus, it's not too bad to do the sign of the cross every now and then.
no, not at all. But I also think, bad things happen in life, period. I don't think it's because of the black cat. And sometimes I think we need to take ownership of the choices we made. And I feel like sometimes, it's hard for people to do that because they've been taught, or they were surrounded with, it's always somebody else's fault, or it's because of this darkness. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I can tell you, one time a black cat crossed in front of me, and I had the worst night. And I was like 16, maybe 17. It was horrible, horrible. And I was like, I knew I shouldn't have gone out that night. And I saw that black cat cross in front of me, and I was like, I went out. It was the worst night. But also, from that day on, I was like, I am never going to give credit to a black cat bringing me negativity, because if you think back, I don't want to get into what happened, but that was probably the best thing that could have happened, because no telling what situation I'd be in had that not happened.
Yeah,
That
you'd be
makes any
hunting down
sense?
black cats.
But I don't know. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, I guess the whole point, as I get older, and I'm not trying to judge. I'm not trying to, I just realize that, we people they're not born certain ways all the time. I guess what I'm getting at is they're taught.
Right.
A baby doesn't come out saying, I'm going to practice voodoo,
Right.
or I'm going to believe in, cleansing with the egg. No, they're taught.
Or, I mean, they're not even
Not gonna,
born necessarily thinking, I believe in God.
right. They're taught these things. And so I think, we grow up for what we were taught. So if you taught me to be peaceful and loving and have God in my life and those things, that's who I am. And, if you taught me to focus on work and school, that's who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. And if and I feel like, I'm not saying grandma and grandpa taught, bad things. I'm just saying it's just, I think it's that error.
Well,
Like, I don't know.
Yes and no. I mean, you mentioned, about being taught to like pursue an education or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The things you want in life are usually what you're taught. And grandma and grandpa didn't have an education. I mean, they grew up during the Depression. They were put to work
Right.
at a very early age. Neither one of them finished school. I don't even know if either one of them made it to high school. So I think a lack of an education makes people gullible in a lot of ways. So some of these
Yeah.
things that they believed in were because they didn't know any better.
Yeah. I know. It's
Personally,
crazy.
that's my opinion.
No, and I agree. But that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I think it's like what is happening around our city right now is there's a lot of, gang related violence, and it's sad, because some of it comes from housing projects, and, it's like a vicious cycle. People are born, and like I said, they're not born coming out of the womb with a gun in their hand,
Right.
but they become gullible in the environment and the society we live in, and it's a lot easier to. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like we can't judge because it's not right. We know it's not right to kill. We know it's not right to steal, and those things. If you were taught, my dad or my mom had to go steal whatever to give me food, or couldn't go to work because they were taking care of me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just gets caught up in this cycle. It's really sad. But that's life. Crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. So, well, let me ask you this because I'm not there. I don't get to see it firsthand. Do you see, are Marcella's girls working together better than our aunts and uncles were when grandma was sick?
I'd like to say yes, but I
I
don't, because of this age that I was when grandma and grandpa were sick. I don't remember, like, I can't say I paid attention or I knew because I didn't, and I think that was because of my age.
That's fair.
And I would like to. I see, Marcella's girls as doing what they know, and I feel, I feel like Julie has a lot of responsibility on her because she's more independent, and that's a good thing because she needs her mom, but she doesn't. She needs her mom, but in a way where she needs her, emotionally as a mother. I hope I'm not speaking outside my. This is my personal view, and I think a lot of times, from what I've seen, Marcella's done a lot or wanted to do a lot for Felicia and Sarah, and so I think that's what they know. They know that their mom, would cook and
Right.
have things ready for them or watch the kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
And I know that
I'm
they
the
do
same.
a lot for her.
I'm the same way. When I come home to visit, mom asks me what I want, and I pretty much just prepare a menu of the things that I want her to cook while I'm there. I'm a grown man.
Yeah.
I could easily go there and just cook for myself. In fact, I should probably cook for my mother too. I was just saying, "Hey, mom, thank you for all the years of taking care of me. You don't have to do this anymore.
Yeah.
You're retired. Let me do something for you."
But when it comes
hang on,
it happens all the time.
Wait, let me just finish. Just one little defense for myself. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes at least when I go visit mom, I'll buy the groceries.
Well, and I'm thinking, she
and
probably really appreciates that.
by sometimes, I mean one time.
but
I intend to do it more.
And that's a good thing. But not that that's bad that you don't do it. It's just how it's been happening, and you don't.
She does my laundry when I visit too.
That's just sad.
Hey, look, she likes doing it.
I know. I remember that time you told me that the smile on her face when she's seen your laundry bag. That's so wrong.
That was the first time I had been able to come home to visit for Christmas, and I had been working so much at work I didn't have time to do my laundry before I left. I left straight from work with a couple of bags of dirty laundry and a bag with a couple of clean clothes that I still had left. She was probably happy to see me, but I was holding a giant bag of dirty laundry. And after she hugged me and everything, before I knew it, they were already being washed. And I was like, I just set these down here. How did you carry this heavy bag of laundry all the way back there and get a load going before I even got through greeting everybody who's
Right.
here?
You're probably. I remember you said, "Man, my mom." The look in her eye, she was so happy. That is so wrong.
Hey, look, my mom still likes taking care of us.
I know, and I think I know they do. My mom does too, and I feel like sometimes when they see that we're doing things on our own, I feel like that with mine. Like, and I have Louise as my person that I can go to because my kids are grown and they're doing their own thing. They don't have that person to go to, and I don't, that's. I don't know if they even need that person to go to, but
wait, I'm a little confused. What do you?
Well,
you talking about Luis, your husband?
Yeah.
And
I'm.
Who are your kids supposed to go to? I don't understand what you mean by that.
Well, not that my kids. I'm talking about our parents.
Oh,
like our
okay.
Mom, okay. Our mom and.
I got you.
Our moms. So I don't like. Right now, they've raised us, and we're gone off. You know what I'm saying? And they still like to take care of us and want to do things, but when we're grown and we're doing our own thing,
right?
They're not as much there. Not because they don't want to or we don't want them to. It's just, And so, who is that person that they? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of weird.
Well, yeah, because you have someone to spend time with, and y'all take care of each other. Our parents are single, and they don't really have anyone to take care of them, but and they don't have anyone really to take care of, which is in their nature to take care of people. Mm-hmm. So when we're around, we're the surrogate for that. They want to take care of us still.
Yeah. That's pretty much. But I think for this podcast, I don't know. I'd like to end it on a positive note.
Yeah, let's.
Because I have a very full house right now. Like I hear 2 or 3 more people showed up.
Well, I heard some kids screaming in the background earlier. I wanted to say something, but you're in the middle of giving a very impassioned dialogue or monologue, actually, because I didn't really get to say anything.
Thought for the number 2 podcast for today. I think it's just keeping an open mind and realizing that, what we've been taught and growing up is not bad. But I also think that we should not pass judgment or hold resentment or look down at people because they were taught differently.
Well, because I wish I could agree with that. I agree with that somewhat, but it's very difficult. I
know it is.
I don't want to be a judgmental person, but I find myself judging a lot of people a lot of the time.
I know. I think it's just human natural instinct, but I think more so when we're dealing with such traumatic or, illnesses, we know what I'm saying? We shouldn't, we might say, oh, well, why aren't you doing this? Or they should be doing this.
Oh, no, I didn't mean like that. I just meant in everyday life. Like, look at this idiot. Oh. Look at that fool over there.
Well, everyday life, because we were made to judge.
I know, and I know it's a commandment. You're not supposed to. Wait, is it a commandment?
No.
Damn, I used to be an altar boy.
I shall not judge. No, it's not a commandment.
What was the? All right, maybe it's just in the Bible. Judge not, lest ye be judged. Is that something? That's from the Bible.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's in the Bible. I don't know what verse or.
Well, me neither. But yeah, I know you're not supposed to judge people, but I do it anyway. That's how I pick my friends.
Yeah, it's hard, but I mean, we have to go off of our gut feeling, which sometimes is our judgment on people.
Yeah.
But I guess in everyday life that's a normal. But like I said, when we're dealing with family, it's the last thing I feel like when we're dealing with a situation where there's, like I said, an illness with what like Marcella's going through right now. The last thing that any of us should do is bring any type of negativity and pass judgment on what we think other people should do, because until we are in that situation, which I pray to God that we don't have, none of us have to go through it.
Right.
We cannot say what we would do.
Yeah, it's way easier to look from the outside and right. Call, oh, I would have done this, I would have done that. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You think you would.
Yeah. Well, this one wise man told me the what ifs and the would haves and the could haves don't exist. The wise man was the least words.
Interesting.
Anyway.
Well, you know what? If you're going to give some words of wisdom, I want to give some words of wisdom. And a wise man. What? Go ahead.
I'm like, shoot, go ahead.
Oh,
go.
Okay, shoot. A wise man, he didn't tell me, but I heard him telling somebody else. Do or do not. There is no try.
Yep.
You know who that wise man was?
No.
Yoda.
Who's Yoda?
From Star Wars.
Oh my God. I can't believe I just said that.
I can't either. I'm so disappointed in you, cuz that's one of my favorite movies of all time. That series is one of my favorite film series of all time. And you're like, who's Yoda?
I'm so sorry. That's a great.
Shut up.
Quote from Yoda.
All right. Well, look, let's move on. Do you have more time, or do you have to go?
I have to go because
damn
it's loud. I hear my mom now.
We're gonna put out a bummer, like a really all down, just sad podcast.
We're trying to end it on positive notes.
Are we? You don't know who Yoda is. That's not positive. Well, look, before we end, anyone who listens to this, anyone who's listening to this, please, 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 whoever you believe in, God or Buddha or Muhammad, just please say a prayer for our Aunt Marcella. Send positive thoughts her way. And not just for her, but for her kids and her grandchildren too, and for the whole family. I always, when I pray at night for Marcella's health, I pray for God to give her children and her grandchildren strength, and her husband. Let's not forget her husband's been by her side this whole time, to give them strength to help her continue to fight against this horrible disease, and for us as a family to just be there and support her in any way that we can. So, just please just keep her in your thoughts, and hopefully we'll all get through this okay.
Amen.
All right, that's still not that's still kind of a downer. It's going
you want me to go to my kitchen and hear some downers?
Yeah, you know what? Let's go. Which sisters are there?
Well, it's Lupi, Andrea, Brianna, Lupita, which are my nieces,
right.
2 nieces. My mom. I'm not sure if Julie and Augustine are still here, and I'm not sure if Louise made it back yet.
All right, look, just go run through there real fast. Tell them that you're recording a podcast, and anyone who wants to say hi real fast, let's just try and have a positive note.
I don't know if they're even going to hear me. Okay, here it goes.
Is it?
Yeah. There you go.
That wasn't even on speaker.
Oh.
I barely heard anything.
You didn't hear anything?
I mean, barely.
Well, it's loud. Hold on,
Okay.
let me see. Say hello. Say hello. Well,
Who is it?
2-year-olds don't get to talk.
Yeah, why would you try that? This is horrible.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry I said anything. Look, I'll hang up with you and I'll continue the podcast myself.
No, I feel so bad. I've got a house full of people that was not expected.
Well, hey, look, man, you need to put a sign up on your door that says, hey, I'm working at 10 o'clock. I got a podcast to record. And I even have new outro music. No lyrics,
I
of
know,
course.
you need to play it because we've been on 50 minutes. We're on target.
All right. Well, it's not going to match with our current conversation, with any of the conversation, but here goes.
Oh my God.
It's time to say goodbye to your family and friends for the day. Actually, no, you can still hang with them anyway. I'm just gonna say goodbye to my number 2 cuz anyway. It's oh no, you did keep going. That was That was a terrible, terrible lyric.
We need to work on that one for sure.
Yeah, well, this was
we might just use that same background, just no lyrics.
no lyrics. No, I didn't know that we were going to jump right out of the gate with Marcella. I had talked about it really publicly with anybody just because it's not a comfortable thing to talk about. But yeah. I'm glad it's out there. It does get some of that. Here, let me turn this off real fast. It does get some of that. It feels good to get it off my chest. Not like I was carrying a dark secret or anything, but just it feels good to talk about it. And you know, I really do hope for the best, and I'll keep praying for her, and I'm sure you will too. And I hope I haven't reached out to any of her kids. I need to do that.
Yeah, I think they would like that. Yeah, even if it's a message or, like you said, a phone call.
Yeah, I'm just going to call them and say, hey, how's it going? I know things are tough right now, but I just want you to know that I'm thinking about you. And I really... I can't even do it, man. I'm not trying to make fun of this situation.
No, but that would maybe make someone laugh.
I hope they see it as a joke that I mean.
Yeah, that in good spirit. So,
I wrote this song to make you smile. I'm going to say I can't walk for a mile because I'm fat and out of shape. Damn, I need to work on that. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Hopefully next time we'll have some happier things to talk about.
Absolutely. I just think open mind, loving heart.
All right. Well, look, since this is so weird, let's just end with the usual way.
Okay.
Still sounds too happy.
It's that time.
It's time to say goodbye to NumTwoPod podcast and our crew. And by crew, I mean number 2 cuz and me. We're gonna say goodbye now. So have a lovely day. Keep it beautiful and happy. Even though things aren't always so good, just remember to find the silver lining in every rain cloud. It's gonna be okay, cause time heals all wounds, they say. I don't know if it's true, but time always helps you.
Good lyrics.
All right, cuz.
Good lyrics. Good
oh, thanks, cuz. That one was right off the top of my head, but I'm used to this tempo, this music.
That's natural, pure natural.
Yeah. Oh, really? Thank you, cuz. Well, so are you. All right. I hear a lot of noise in the background, so okay. I'll let you go. And
okay, cuz.
We'll talk later. Take care.
Yes.
Tell everyone I said hello. I love them all. I miss them all. And I'm thinking about them.
I will let them know.
All right.
Okay, good.
Goodbye.
We'll talk later. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I'm I'm hanging up now, cuz.
Please do. Tired of listening to you.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah, it's been a rough one, but hopefully you can find something to relate to and enjoy. Thanks for listening, and take care.